Hey, welcome back once again to Jack's Tech Corner and another video tutorial on Photoshop Elements. And today I thought we would do a little bit of something different. What we're going to do is, you've often seen those really neat pictures where you have a scene set somewhere, and with that scene we have somebody that's shrunk down on one side or the other, and you can do this with a multiple set of pictures. But today I thought we would start off with the camcorder here before we go into the editor. And what we're going to work with first off is very simple, some green screening. Now if you don't have a green screen, that's okay. You can shoot on any natural background. The reason we want a natural colored background or a solid color background is because it's very easy to remove that background once we are done. Now if you want to get into some green screen photography, I can tell you that it's a wonderful business. We've made a little bit of money doing green screening. And we set it up basically as a photo booth. We set a green screen up, people get in front of it with funny hats and stuff, and then we can put a multiple backgrounds behind them. But today, this particular green screening is so it will make it easier for me to cut myself out. So I'm going to take some self-portraits, and we're going to take those and shrink those down. So let's get started. What kind of equipment are you going to need first off? That's the first thing that we got to talk about. So the first thing you're going to want is some kind of green screen. I recommend to buy one of these portable green screens. I'm going to try to zoom this out a little bit here so we can kind of see this. This is a portable green screen. I picked this up from the Green Screen Wizard. Okay, so if you go to greenscreenwizard.com. Okay, so the Green Screen Wizard is where you want to go to pick up a green screen such as this. It's portable, so it's really easy to carry around. I'd also recommend that if you get into photography at all and you're going to do any type of I call it on-location studio work, where I go to somebody's house and I shoot pictures of them, we have portable backdrops the same way. You can buy these things portable. Now these are really, really nice. Let's go ahead and show you how to set this thing up. So I'm going to try to zoom this out some more here. Oops, go the other way here and zoom this back out. And what we're going to look at today is very simple. I'm going to pull my stool out of the way. And you just take this out of the package, and it has its own frame. You just throw the case down there. So it has its own frame, and you just simply flip it, and you have a full green screen. You see that there? It's a full green screen. Now you can put this on either a light stand, a spare tripod, really whatever you want to set it up on. Today we're going to set it up on my backdrop stand, hopefully if I don't knock anything over here. Since I happen to have the backdrop stand set up anyway, I'm going to use it. But you don't need a backdrop stand. You can use really any type of stand you want. You're going to put a clamp up here, clamp it to the pole, just like so. So you see how really easy that was to set up. It doesn't take any time at all to set it up. Now, what else I would recommend is to have it evenly lit. Okay, that's a big thing with green screens. I have a ceiling light up here. I don't know how this is going to work out. It should work out okay to be able to get this stuff out and remove me from the green screen. That should work out okay. Now, I do have a very inexpensive light that I use occasionally. I may need it today. It's a very inexpensive light. I picked this up on eBay for about maybe 30 bucks. Okay. It does come with umbrellas, so you put an umbrella in a stand, and I showed you that before in some past videos. You just set it out there, and then you can light yourself. So that's a nice way to light. We're going to try it without that. We're going to see if it works out for us. The next thing obviously you're going to need is your camera, or a camera. It doesn't have to be a 35mm DSLR such as this one. This is my Nikon D600 that I've been using for about everything anymore. It's a wonderful camera. Works very, very well. So you don't need to have a D600. Again, you can use any camera you want as long as you can mount it to a tripod if you're going to do self-portraits. It's kind of hard to do selfies when you're using a green screen. So let me go ahead. I'm going to set my camera up here, and hopefully I can find my wireless trigger somewhere. I got to look for that yet. But we're going to take some self-portraits here with the camera and just grab some shots with this green screen, and then we'll go into Photoshop Elements 13 editor. It could be any version of Photoshop Elements will do this. And I'll show you how to use the Green Screen Wizard software. And I'm also going to show you how to remove it if you don't have Green Screen Wizard. You can also remove a solid background very easily. So let me go ahead and set the camera up and I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have my camera set up on a tripod. You can't see that because it's actually located with the camcorder. But we have it set up on the tripod, and now we can take some shots with this green screen behind me. I have my remote shutter release. I recommend that you buy one of these. If you have a DSLR, I'm sure that your camera will work with one of these remote triggers. It's just very handy because then you don't have to set the timer, run and get all situated and everything. So I'm going to try to sit straight up, try to pull my pull the old belly in there a little bit, and look at my DSLR camera. And I'm going to take some shots. And then we're going to take these shots and we're going to, like I said, we're going to shrink these down. So I'm going to try to look at these shots and see if I can get as much of my body as possible. That's what I want to do. And we'll try to get another shot here. A little bit lower than the last one. See where that one's at. Okay, so I'm just taking a couple quick shots here, just so we have something to work with. It's a little better. I might be able to go down just a little bit more and get one more. The object here I'm trying to get is also trying to get my legs in there, so it looks like I'm sitting on something, and we'll see how this works out. All right. So again, we're just taking a couple self-portraits here, just to get yeah, that looks pretty good. Take one more then in case I don't like that shot. A lot of you know that I usually tether to my computer. Okay. So that's very simple, very easy to do to get those particular shots in there and to be able to get those ready to go. So now those are on my SD card and I'm ready now to put those over onto my computer. So then we're going to go ahead and import these into the computer. So we'll import them into the organizer. I normally use Lightroom as my organizer, and I won't do that today. We're going to import them into the Elements organizer, and then we'll take them from there into the editor, and we'll see which one we want to use as change the background and be able to shrink me down. That's what we want to do, is shrink you down to put you in a different situation. So okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to go over and get into the editor, and I'll see you there. Okay, now that we're back here in the organizer, we are going to go ahead and get our photos from our green screen session or from any photos that you have. We're going to import those into our Photoshop Elements organizer. So I have my memory disk, of course. Just stick it in the side of the computer here. So it's in the side of the computer, and it's going to come up. First of all, let's go to Dropbox. We don't want it to go there. We are going to simply import these into our organizer. So I'm going to go to File. Oops. Click on here. Go to File. Get Photos and Videos from a camera or camera card reader. And here's our camera card reader. If you've never played with the organizer before, let me tell you that there's an advanced dialog. I would recommend that you use the advanced dialog. It just gives you a lot more options. You can see here where the standard dialog, we're just going to import our photos. You can't select your photos. There's a lot of stuff you can't do with this. So we're going to go ahead and go to advanced dialog. And yeah, move this here. You can do different things like where do you want to put them. We're going to change this. We do want it in pictures, but we don't want it with two subfolders. So we're just going to create this in pictures, give it a custom name. And that custom name is going to be Shrink Photos. We'll make it all one word. Shrink Photos. And another nice thing about using Advanced is you can select what photos you want. So we're going to uncheck all, and we're just going to select the ones that I just took, right? I don't want all the ones from basketball game I shot a few weeks ago or anything. Another thing nice about the organizer, you can go over here and you can rename. It says do not rename files. You can rename them if you wish. You can do that. If you do, I usually recommend putting a date on at the end just so you have that. Automatically fix red eye. I don't want that selected because then it looks at every single photo for the red eye. We don't want that. Automatically stack, I don't want to do that. Automatically stack RAW and JPEG, and that's another topic. We're going to talk about that here one day because I had a couple emails about RAW images. After copying and verify and delete originals, well, you can do that. I don't recommend that in case something goes wrong. I recommend after copying, do not delete files. Now, this is off your memory card, so don't delete the files off your memory card. Let's just go ahead and import our files now. We have everything ready to go. We're going to select Get Media, and it's going to copy those 7 photos, it looks like, that we want to get into our organizer. And we can see it's pulling them in very rapidly. And then here is our photos. Now, the photos themselves, you can see them pretty well in the organizer. The first thing you want to do, though, is you want to, whenever you import anything into your organizer, you want to immediately put those in an album. So you want to select all. So if you go to Edit, you can go to Select All. And then you want to create a new album. And we're going to call this the same thing. Shrink Photos. That way I know exactly where they're at when I'm working on them, and I know now they're in an album called Shrink Photos, right? That's all by themselves. We can take a look at these just by double-clicking it. It will blow it up, so you can have a look at it and see what it's going to look like overall. And then we can just simply click on the top here and just go through each photo. Obviously, I don't want that one. That's when I was talking to you guys and I was going to sit down. So I'll probably delete that photo. See, there's one sitting straight upright. That's kind of how you want to take a portrait, right? Get your neck lifted up so you can get that indentation in your neck. You don't want your neck to be doubled over and have 3 or 4 chins. Or 2 chins, or whatever it may be. There's another one there, and as you can see very plainly, that's a pretty good picture. This is what I was going for. I was trying to get more of myself. And okay, that one, and all right, that one. So we're going to have to play around with these a little bit. This looks like probably one of the best. Not that great of focus. But we'll play with that a little bit there. I played it and used the proper, I didn't use the proper focus. We're going to go with this one here. It looks probably the best. So we're going to use this photo here. Now notice right away that with the green screen, as long as the green screen is behind your subject, don't worry about the left or the right side of the screen itself. You know, don't be too concerned about it's not covering the whole background, because all you're cutting out is you. Once you cut out you, you're getting rid of that background anyway. So we're going to go ahead and right-click on it, and we can say Open in Photoshop Elements Editor. So Edit with Photoshop Elements Editor. And that's going to pull that picture into our editor. Now the first thing you can see here, obviously I shot these in RAW because this is our RAW editor. And you can adjust it, do all kinds of stuff with lighting and everything, but this is not part of the tutorial, so I'm just going to click on Open Image. And that's going to now set that up so we can open it in the Elements Editor. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here, now that we have the photo in the editor, is we're going to duplicate our background image using Command or Control J, and then shut the visibility off on that background layer. All right, because the first thing we want to do is use our background eraser. This is if you don't have Green Screen Wizard. You can click on the background eraser, go down, click on background. Set your tolerance to, I would set the tolerance up to 100 because we want to remove all the background. And then all you have to do is just simply start clicking around and start erasing that background. And again, what would make this even easier, let's start this off the easier way here, is we're going to do a little cropping first. And I think what we'll do with our cropping is no restrictions. And we're just going to get me in there. Remember I told you before, we don't really have to be concerned about the background being there. And we don't want to worry about trying to erase so much of that background. So click the checkbox. Now you can see we just have to worry about the picture itself. Let's go back to the background eraser. And again, just start erasing that background out. So this is step one. This is one way you can do this to remove the background. Just use the background eraser. It does get a little tight around some of these areas, I can't tell you that, so use your left and right bracket key to shrink your brush size down and do your best to get all the background out of there. Just like so. Now again, this is step one. This is one way to remove the background from your picture. Again, when your brush size is small, folks, you just want to, but you got to be very careful because you can see where you can erase detail. Be very careful. A good thing to remember most times when you're going around someone's body is to drop your tolerance level. So drop your tolerance level down. And, then go around their jeans and stuff, around whatever you're working with here to remove that part of the body. So again, we're just using the background eraser and it's just erasing the background. So that is one way you can do this. And it works. I've used this many times and it works just fine. But if you want to make your life simpler, and if you are using green screen or a blue natural screen, then you'd want to use the Green Screen Wizard. It's just great software. If you do go to buy the Green Screen Wizard, go to my website, jackstechcorner.com or thephotographyguy.net. You can also find it there. There's a link on there to purchase the Green Screen Wizard. Click on that link and then buy either your backdrops, your backgrounds. He sells backgrounds, or the software itself. The software I'm using today is called the plugin software. So you want to look for the plugin for Photoshop Elements. If you're not sure before you buy it, email Ken, the developer, and say which one should I choose. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty well marked, and it will show you there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to revert this image. So I'm going to go back to File and Revert, and we're going to make it back to the normal image itself. So here's the normal image. So again, first of all, the first thing you want to do here would make it easier for the Green Screen Wizard even is to crop out what you don't want. Oh, we don't want that. We want crop. All right. So crop out what you don't want. Just get the green screen in there would be the best thing to do. We're going to actually pull this in even more, just like this. And you can see here on the bottom, the green screen is not there. So we're going to pull up on the legs. So this will not be the exact thing I want to do, but it's going to be close. I'm just leaving the green back here. So now I just have me sitting on a green screen. Now I'll do a Command or Control J, duplicate that background layer. And then what I like to do here is add a new layer, just a new transparent layer. Click back on your layer 1 on your picture of yourself. And if you go to Filter, this is where the software gets installed. Green Screen Wizard, the 3-layer system. So this is our 3-layer system. And if we do this output transparency information, you can see that it's going to output what your transparency is going to be on the background. So it drops that background immediately. That's what you want. And then you just play with the sliders until you can get all the green areas as much as possible out of your photo. And you can see at the top there, the reason that top is still a little bit there is because of my lighting. Remember I told you earlier about how important it is where the lighting was. So that looks pretty good. You can see now, make sure around the head and stuff you don't lose too much of the dark areas. And if you do, you want to restore some dark areas. So we can restore some dark areas. If you got more blue in the image, you can move left. If you got more green in the image, you can move right. So you can move this slider. Select how transparent the transparent areas are. Well, we want those to be as transparent as possible. So just pull this around till it looks pretty good. There we go. So you can see just with a couple mouse clicks and moving your mouse up and down these sliders, you can get this green screen out a lot quicker than even using the background eraser. It does all the work for you, and that's what you want. Once you're done with that, all you got to do is click on this the OK button. I can tell you if you're using a blue screen, because you can either use a green screen or a blue screen. And Ken at the Green Screen Wizard sells a reversible, so you can turn around. Why do you want that when you're doing green screen work? Is because if somebody has a green shirt on and you shoot them on a green background, you're right, you're going to lose part of their body. So you want to turn them around and you'll shoot on the blue screen. In the same sense, if they have a blue shirt on, sometimes with blue jeans it's a problem, but you want to turn around and use the green screen. So just click OK on that, and it's going to do its magic here, and a little presto changeo, it will do some magic for us. hopefully so. And just leave your object, your person that you're going to be shrinking down for this particular edit. So now if you see here, we'll shut this visibility off. And you now see that I am just sitting there myself. If you have some stuff in here, you can still use the background eraser. Don't be scared to try to get in and maybe erase some of this stuff out of here. We're going to make this a smaller brush size, and we're just going to erase some of this out. May take part of my pant leg off there too. Maybe this part of this over here, I don't really know what that was. We'll just remove that out of there. And there you go. So you have it. It's pretty good there. You can maybe clean up some of the edges there a little bit. Just like so. All right, but you can still see that's a lot faster than the way we did it before with the eraser. But you can do it. You don't have to buy a green screen wizard, but I'm telling you, it will make your life a lot easier, especially when you're dropping backgrounds with people. We use the green screen wizard when we go out, I tell you, on location and do those photo booths, and it works out really, really well. The next thing we want to do is import a picture that we're going to use with this picture. So now I'm going to go to just simply File, and we are going to open a picture. And I took a couple of pictures yesterday. If you're ever out at one of these fabric shops, I was out at a fabric shop where they sold plastic flowers. I took my iPhone and I thought it would be, and I didn't think about it soon enough, but it'd be a really cool idea to shoot some of the flowers. Just got real close to them because I thought I might need those one day. And I also thought that if you go to the fabric section at a fabric store, you don't have to buy the fabric. Just get close enough to it with your smartphone and snap some clear pictures of it. And then you can use those as backgrounds or whatever in your photos for stuff like this. So just really a good idea. Really cool. So here's some stuff I shot. I don't know which one of these I want to use. I'm thinking maybe the purple one. We're going to try it. And we'll click open. And this is our photo that we're going to try to put me in here and see how it works out. So this is the photo. I don't know if I was sitting correctly or not, but we're going to try to put me right in here. So you're going to shrink the person down and put them into another photo. And it's very simple to do. Again, do Command or Control J, turn the background layer off. So on this picture, what I want to do first of all is do Command or Control A. That selects all. And then Command or Control C. When I say that, I'm talking about your keyboard, your command keys on your keyboard. Your Command A will select all, Command C. And if you learn these keyboard shortcuts, folks, it's going to be a lot better for you in the end because it's so much easier to work on your photos. Go back to the other photo and do a Command or Control V, and that will paste it. And you can now see that I'm in this photo. So it looks like the flowers are behind me. That's not the exact edit we're trying to get. We're trying to get the edit here where I can resize me and put me in there, make me look like a smaller person in there. So we're going to shrink this down, and I don't know how it's going to work out, but you can move the person around then. So we're going to shrink it down more because, again, it just looks like a background. So you're making a little person is all you're doing here. So we're going to shrink it down. Now you see where I was trying to get myself seated in a seated position and trying to get my whole body there. But so maybe you want to put your person somewhere within those flowers. Something like this. Maybe we'll look like you're sitting on a flower, something like that. So you can shrink yourself down and put yourself into a picture such as that. So it's very simple to do that. Okay. Now, you can see where the bottom of the legs are cut off a little bit. So you have a couple options. You can either blur that out. I can click on here and use my blur tool and blur that in. So we can click on the blur tool. Let's get up here to the blur tool. And we're going to click here to blur on the bottom. And you can blur that out a little bit. So I'll shrink my brush size down a little bit, and we'll just blur this out a little bit. Something like that. Just start blurring it in. We see the strength is high, so it should be blurring in there. You can just blur it, so that way you can just make it kind of fill it in a little bit just with some blur. And then it looks like your feet are going like into the flower. That might be more a better way to do it. Now, So with that said, let's say if you have multiple pictures. Well, we're just going to duplicate this because I don't have multiple pictures. So I'm going to do Command Control J, make a couple copies. Click on this copy. I'll use my move tool again. And we're going to simply move this around. So now I can make a copy of myself. Maybe I'll put myself on a branch over here. Something like that. Click on this copy. Again, move this one out. Maybe I'll put a copy of myself over here. Something like that. And so you can see it's very, very simplistic once you shrink yourself down. But that's the object of this whole entire edit, is to be able to shrink somebody down in a photo. So first, what I did, as you watched the video, we played a little bit with the green screen to get the photos I wanted. But you don't have to. You can, any photo that you have a solid background with, you can do this with. You can shrink them down and put them anywhere you want to put them. So, and I'm sure you guys are going to come up with the Facebook group at Jack's Tech Corner. You're going to come up with a ton of different cool edits. I know you are, because all of you are very, very crafty out there, and I'm sure it's going to happen. So folks, thank you very much for watching this video tutorial on how to shrink somebody in a photo. It's a lot of fun. You can do it with your kids. It makes great conversation pieces where you have maybe different kids shrunk down on a different background. So it's a lot of fun. If you do get into the green screen stuff, I will tell you once again, it's Green Screen Wizard, but use the link on my website. Go to jackstechcorner.com or thephotographyguy.net and click on that link, and that will take you there. And then what happens is I get a little bit of credit back from you purchasing. Folks, also, do not forget, please don't forget my Amazon link. A lot of you out there have been helping me out, and I really appreciate it. It helps these shows out. It helps to buy the gear I need to run these shows. It helps to pay for the web space and everything else that we need to produce this stuff and get this stuff out there to you. So that Amazon link also can be found at jackstechcorner.com or thephotographyguy.net. If you remember those two websites, and I'm sure I'll have the links in these shows for you here on YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube videos. That's a big help. I love having you subscribing and watching the videos. Make sure you do the edits. And as always, remember to keep those shutters clicking. Keep your editors editing, and you too will be creating great masterpieces from your photos. Thanks so much, folks, for joining me here, and I'll see you next time on Jack's Tech Corner. Bye for now.